In this video, we're going to go over how to solve compound inequalities. That's basically two inequalities that you need to solve, and then there's going to be a word in the middle, an and or an or. And problems are usually shaded in the middle because it has to satisfy both this inequality and this inequality. If the word or was right here, it would only have to satisfy one or the other. And inequalities are usually shaded in the middle, or inequalities are shaded to the outside. So what we need to do is solve each one of these inequalities and then graph it. I'm going to solve this inequality just like I would an equation or any inequality. Remember the rule about solving inequalities. If I multiply or divide by a negative number, this inequality symbol switches around. The first thing I need to undo is adding 6. That means I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. 2x, this cancels out. Bring down my inequality symbol. Negative 10 and negative 6 give me negative 16. I need to eliminate the 2. That means I need to divide both sides by 2. X is greater than negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. Now that I have this one solved, I need to come over here and solve this inequality. I need to do my adding and subtracting first. Add 10 to both sides. This cancels out. Less than or equal to 15 plus 10, 25. I now need to eliminate this 5. The opposite of multiplying by 5 is dividing by 5. X is less than or equal to 25 divided by 5. It's 5. I want to bring the word and down. I need to graph this inequality. And problems are usually shaded in the middle. I draw my graph. I make sure I put the smaller number over here on this side, larger number over here on this side. That means negative 8 goes right here, positive 5 goes right here. I look at my symbols to see whether or not it's going to be an open or closed circle. I need to have an open circle on negative 8, and I need to have a closed circle on positive 5. Where I shade is where my answers are. I'm going to shade right here in the middle, right here. So all my answers are located in between negative 8 and 5, but not including negative 8, but including positive 5. Example number 2. Example number 2 is an OR problem. I'm going to solve this first inequality, then I want to solve this next inequality. OR problems are usually shaded to the outside, so let's solve this one first. I need to do my adding and subtracting first. This is eliminated. Negative 46 and negative 2 give me negative 48. I need to divide both sides by negative 6 because that's the opposite of multiplying by negative 6. Divide this side by negative 6, this side by negative 6. When I divide both sides of an inequality by a negative number, this inequality symbol switches around. Negative 48 divided by negative 6, positive 8. I'm going to bring down my word OR, and then I'm going to solve this one over here. Do my adding and subtracting first. Opposite of positive 9, negative 9. (14 minus 9 is 5. The opposite of multiplying by 5 is dividing by 5. X is less than or equal to 1. Now I need to draw my graph that represents this. Always put the smaller number right over here on this side. The smaller number is 1. Put the larger number over here on this side, 8. I look at my inequality symbols and see whether or not I need to put an open or closed circle. For 8, I need to put a closed circle. For 1, I need to put a closed circle. And since this is OR, it's probably going to be shaded to the outside. This right here says x is greater than or equal to 8. That means everything greater than or equal to 8 is an answer. Less than or equal to 1 is also a solution. For example number 3, they're going to give you an example of an AND problem. In this AND problem, instead of having two separate inequalities, they've taken both inequalities and they have combined them together to make it look like this. This is an AND problem. When you have the inequalities bunched together like this, and what we're going to do, instead of having to solve two separate inequalities, they've combined both inequalities, and this is always an AND, to make it look like this. What we do to one side of the inequality, we have to do to the other side of the inequality. So basically, we're solving right here in the middle, and whatever we do to eliminate a number, we have to do it to both sides right here and right here. So just like a normal inequality, if it looked like this, what would I do to both sides? Or if the inequality looked like this, what would I do to both sides? I would subtract 4 first, and I'm going to do it to all three sides like that right there. Negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10, less than or equal to 2x. Because this is eliminated, less than 10 minus 4 is 6. Again, what would I do to solve this inequality? I would divide both sides by 2, so I need to divide everything by 2. Divide this by 2, this by 2, and this by 2. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Is less than or equal to, the 2's cancel out. I'm left with an x. Is less than 6 divided by 2 is 3. Remember, this is an AND problem. So I'm going to graph this as an AND problem. I'm going to shade more than likely in the middle. Remember, always put the smaller number over here on this side, larger number over here on this side. I look at my symbol. This symbol, inequality symbol, goes with this number. That means it needs to be a closed circle. This symbol right here goes with the 3, an open circle. All my answers are in between these two numbers. That's an AND problem. That means I'm going to shade right here in the middle. Example number 4. Example number 4 is an OR problem. More than likely it's going to be shaded to the outside. I need to solve each one of these so I'll know what numbers go on my graph. To solve an inequality that looks like this, I need to do the opposite of dividing by 2. Opposite of dividing by 2 is multiplying by 2. When I multiply both sides by 2, these 2's right here cancel out, and I'm left with 3x minus 11 is greater than 2 times 2 is 4. I need to do my adding and subtracting at this point. The opposite of negative 11, positive 11. Four plus 11, 15. I need to get rid of this 3 right here. Opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. Divide both sides by 3. X is greater than 5. Bring down the word OR. Now I need to solve this one over here. Only thing I need to get rid of is this positive 8. Opposite of positive 8 is negative 8. X is less than or equal to 6 minus 8 is negative 2. I need to draw my graph for this. Remember, always put the smaller number over here. Of these two, which one's the smaller number? Negative 2. Larger number? 5. So my graph is going to look like this. Smaller number needs to go over here on this side. Larger number needs to go over here on this side. Then these inequality symbols are going to tell me whether or not I put an open or closed circle. This one tells me to put an open circle on 5. And then shade everything greater than 5. Everything greater than 5 is in this direction right here. This inequality symbol tells me to put a closed circle on negative 2 and to shade everything less than negative 2. Example number 5. Example number 5 is another example of an AND problem that's all combined together into one inequality like this. I need to make sure this middle part is simplified, meaning if I can combine anything together here, I need to do that. And there's two things I can combine together, these two x's. Once I combine those two x's together, I get 2x minus 1. Now that this middle section is simplified, I need to get rid of this negative 1 and this multiplying by 2. I'm going to do my adding and subtracting first. The opposite of negative 1 is plus 1 to eliminate that negative 1, but I also need to do it to each side of this inequality. 13 plus 1 is 14. This is eliminated like I wanted it to be. Negative 3 plus 1, negative 2. Now I need to get rid of this 2 here. It's being multiplied. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. I need to divide 2 on each side. 14 divided by 2, 7. These are eliminated. Bring down that inequality symbol. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Again, when I go to graph this, the smaller number always goes on the left side, negative 1. The larger numbers go over here on this side. This symbol goes with this number. This symbol means I put an open circle. This symbol right here means I put a closed circle on negative 1. And it's everything in between these two numbers that can be a solution for this.